Hey there, it's Jim here from Moose Basin Vacations again, and it's mid-October. We are just getting a start on winterizing our stuff and putting an end to the summer and fall season because winter is quickly approaching. So I figured now would be as good a time as any to make a quick little video about all the winter opportunities that Moose Basin Vacations and the area of town and the area around the town of Kapuskasing in general has to offer people. We're pretty famous for trail riding up here, but we're more than that. We also have a lot of backcountry riding and a lot of natural beauty, a lot of ice fishing to be done. We have a lot of events in the area that are amazing events to take part in and really puts a focus on the winter wonderland that this area has to offer. We're usually one of the first areas in Ontario to get our lakes frozen. We have one of the longest riding seasons pretty much in Canada. Our trails are in absolutely immaculate shape more often than not because we have a good snow base and a good long season, and we get it's cold enough that all our creeks get frozen over relatively early, so it's a great opportunity for people to extend their winter season or come up mid-season and just enjoy the best of what winter has to offer in Canada. And along with this video, I'm also going to include in the post a couple pictures of our riding adventures throughout the summer and some of our adventures through the summer and some of the things we've done in winter years previous, just to give you a real photographic example of what the area is like. And we'll also include some pictures of our accommodations in here so you can see what we have to offer you when you decide to come up here and enjoy everything we got going on in the winter. So it'll be a little bit of everything. And as I mentioned before, we are absolutely famous for trail riding here. And this first slide here is kind of a double split screen of the trail we have right around Kapuskasing. It's called the Lumberjack Loop. It is part of the trail system called the Northern Corridor Trail, the Northern Corridor Adventure Trail, which basically runs from Timmins all the way through the Northland, all the way down to Hornpain, Long Lac, Geraldton. It's a vast trail system of immaculate trails. And as you can see here, now granted, these are photos from a printout of the trail system, and as many riders know, that not all of these trails are going to be active. For example, this L151, we don't know of its status for 2026 because they might be hauling lumber out of there. We're not going to know that right away, but that L151 in question leads up to our cabin on Allen Lake. And even if that's closed down, when we start talking about our cabins, you can still run the river up for the variety for most of the season. But anyways, we're talking about the trails here. And now again, between now and the start of season, when the OFCA actually releases their online trail maps, some of the local trails might be out. It's always the local trails that seem to go out first, but these main loops along the corridor are generally always open. And this Lumberjack Loop, as you can see, Kapuskasing is pretty much the heart of it, and it runs from Moonbeam to Opasatica, crosses a lot of rivers and a lot of creeks, and it's just a beautiful ride, smooth trails, the very well groomed, wide trails, well marked, And in this area here, it's not just us in Kapuskasing that serve snowmobilers. There are many great businesses in Moonbeam, especially, that really caters to the sledders out there. And we also have a local trail that cuts across Remy Lake as a very popular spot for ice fishing. And that's the Lumberjack Loop. That's the one that is centered right in Kapuskasing. And the next slide just gives you a bit of an idea of the distances in between towns. So as you can see on this slide here, if you're staying in Kapuskasing, you're pretty much in the heart of the Northern Corridor Trail. And with many of the towns basically within a easy day's ride down the trails around us. So Kapuskasing is a really good spot to base your northern experience out of because of its central location to all the trails. And that is also signified in this map here on the right, although Kapuskasing doesn't, it's not on it, but you can see that Kapuskasing is just down the road from Smooth Rock. Northern Corridor Trail extends that way. And the blue figures here are how to access by trail, and the red ones are road travel there. So you can see that all the towns up here, if you want to explore the different towns, this is an area you can do it with the trail system because all the towns are connected. All the towns have something special to see. And as I said, Kapuskasing, staying at Moose Basin Vacations, our B&B is right on the A trail. That gives you access to all these little towns if you want to take day trips out to them. And more trips you can make in addition to the Lumberjack Loop. On this slide here, Mattice and Hearst have the Missinabie Expedition Tour, which is a loop that heads north from Highway 11 and runs around the lake and river areas in Hearst and Mattice. Probably this middle one here is probably the most popular loop along the trail systems up here. That's the Abitibi Canyon Tour. Most people base this tour out of Smooth Rock or Cochrane, but again, we're just down the road, and if you want to have a good long day of riding, this loop can be accessed safely and effectively from Kapuskasing. And then this here is a little further out of the way to the west of us. That's the Bobcat Loop, located out of Hornpain, but still accessible via day trip out of Kapuskasing. So you can see that, and again, every loop I'm putting on here, the trails are always immaculate. It's not just the Cap Snow Rovers, it's all the other snowmobile local clubs in the area. They all do a very impressive job of maintaining the trails, and no matter which one of these loops you end up going on, guaranteed you're going to have good riding, and it's going to be a really good time for you. And the scenery on any of these loops is just second to none. If you're looking for a little piece of remote serenity and enjoying the beauty that a remote wilderness tour can do on well-groomed trails, all these trails are absolutely second to none. And we particularly like the trails in the Kapuskasing area because, well, we're familiar with them, and we also know of a lot of really fun things to do that aren't necessarily trail riding. When you do the Lumberjack Loop, we know a lot of pretty cool ice fishing places and sightseeing places that are just off the trail that we can get you to. And the next thing we have on the agenda to talk about here is the backcountry riding and ice fishing. And do that, we're going to switch over to Google Maps to show you a bit of the area there. Now, as you saw from the previous screens there, we got the Lumberjack Loop that runs pretty much down here from Opaz up and around Moonbeam there. Then you have the Abitibi Canyon Loop that goes all the way up to the canyon and then back down to Cochrane over there. And then over here towards Mattice, as I showed you there, you have the Missinabie Adventure Loop that runs up there. All this area here in between all those loops and all the area down to the south of it and all those loops is just vast areas of crown land connected with old lumber roads that are unplowed, most of them in the winter, and it's just feet of untouched powder by the time you get into the middle of the season. And lots of back trails leading to all the lakes around here. That's where we do a lot of our ice fishing tours, is on the back country on the lakes north of town. There's lots of walleye, lots of pike, lots of splake, and as you'll see from the photographs that we're going to be posting with this post, the scenery is absolutely second to none, especially when you get up into the area directly north of Cap along Freddy Flat. You're running through a lot of back lakes that are high up in some hills and pits. It makes for some beautiful scenery, beautiful trips out there, and lakes tend to be productive with fish. So whether you're just riding the backcountry powder or taking time to enjoy some ice fishing on your journey in the backcountry, you don't beat the amount of remote peace and quiet you can get by taking a backcountry tour in the winter up here. It's just complete solitude, and a great place to base your backcountry tour would be our camp on Allen Lake, because it is connected to all those lumber roads and that are north of Opasatica. And we'll move on to sights to see in the area of Kapuskasing. First off, this photo here was taken last year during the Festival of Lights, and our home base, our bed and breakfast in downtown Kapuskasing on 62 Riverside, the corner of Kane and Riverside, is right by Riverside Park. And these lights here are part of our Festival of Lights, where every year from December to, it kind of varies, but pretty much right at least up until February, the entire park gets lit up with lights. If anyone is familiar with a big tourist attraction in Eastern Ontario, it's called A Light the Night. It takes place at Upper Canada Village, and people spend a lot of money to go in there and get a tour of the Christmas lights and all the buildings and the trees all done nice and everything. Well, in Kapuskasing, they basically turn our waterfront Riverside Park into a scene that is very comparable to A Light the Night. Only we don't charge people to see it, and we don't have interpreters and all heritage clothing. We just simply put up the lights, have a big old fire for the community on the day of the lighting, and then we leave them there all winter. Absolutely free. Anyone can just walk through the park and enjoy it, and it's there for you to enjoy when you come up to stay in Kapuskasing. And it is absolutely beautiful. If you can book your stay in Kapuskasing when that is going on, I guarantee you will at least walk away with a little bit of appreciation of how beautiful it is. Even if you just spend an hour on some downtime walking through the park, it is well worth it. And the next picture here is just a little photo I snapped last year, late winter, early spring, things were starting to melt. That is the Cap River Bridge over at Freddy's Flat. And that is heading on up towards Smoky Falls and getting into our waterfall area, because we have many waterfalls in the Kapuskasing area, and that are beautiful any time of year, and pretty, depending on what ones, most of them are accessible any time of year, and it's just absolutely beautiful to see. We'll post some pictures of that too when we post this video, just to give you an idea of some of the natural beauty that occurs in the winter time here. And we also have in Kapuskasing, when it comes to sights to see, we have the Festaglass. It's not really a site, it's more of an event, but we have lots of winter activities during that time. I'm drawing a blank on exactly when Festaglass is. I know it's in March sometime, and I know that it involves a late season ice fishing derby put on by the Cap River Walleye Tour, quite possibly Ontario's best little small town fishing tournament in the summertime. It's a walleye tournament, obviously, Cap River Walleye Tour. But they put on a real friendly family ice fishing day down in the bay. They got some prizes and that. There's that to see, but the big waterfall to see is we have multi-use trails that lead down to Sturgeon Falls. That is beautiful every time of year. Again, we'll put some pictures of that in the post when we post it. And sturgeon can be accessed during multiple hiking trails too, and that will lead us into the places to stay in Cap. Well, right now we're focusing on the places we have, because I like working with people, but I'm not just going to give free advertising to competition. We want you to stay here, and we think we have more than suitable accommodations for you. We actually think we are probably the best place for you to stay, whether you want a remote cabin or you want to stay in town. And in terms of the remote cabin, this picture on the left is our camp at Allen Lake. That is, again, we pointed out earlier in the video that is on Allen Lake at the tail end of the L151, heading north out of Opasatica. And again, even if that trail is closed, we can still access it using the backcountry roads, the old lumber roads that, as I said, were full of powder and generally remain unplowed in that area. So that's very accessible there. Trail access, boat access in the summer, but as you can see, the area around that camp is just absolutely beautiful. Surrounded by beaches and the ice fishing. There you can't see the beach in the winter, it's all snow covered. Not sure why I mentioned the beaches, but in case you're coming for summer, I guess. But yeah, it pops out right on Allen Lake. Allen is one of the first lakes that is traversable because it's so shallow and still. It tends to freeze really well. So if you want to get an early start on some absolutely amazing ice fishing and some backcountry riding, the camp at Allen Lake is an ideal spot to stay. And smaller picture on the right, that is an exterior view of our bed and breakfast based right in Kapuskasing, right off the A Trail, downtown Cap, right close to all the festivals and that. The festival lights is you get a beautiful view of it right from our front porch because we're right across from the town. Anytime the lights are on at the end of a day of riding or ice fishing, whatever you happen to be doing up here, then you get to just sit back and enjoy the beauty of the lights at the end of the day. And as you can see in the pictures we share, we're going to share with this post, the accommodations are comfortable, warm, and inviting. And well, you've got me as a host, and I'm an absolute nature lover. I love the things you do. I love seeing the same things you do. And I want you to see them, and I will do everything I can to make sure that you guys get to do and see the things you want to do when you're up here. I do tend to go the extra mile for people. Like we're not perfect here, but nobody is, but we will always go over and above to make sure that you are having the experience you want to have. And if you stay here, this goes back to the things to do thing and kind of links it up. If you stay with us, we run a weekly friendly fishing tournament up here. We started it this summer. It's moving through fall, and we're going to continue it through hard water season. So if you stay with us at the bed and breakfast, you're going to get free admission to the weekly fishing fun days we have. So, and no other rental places doing that for you, giving you free stuff to do just by staying there. And that's in addition to the other discount services we have, such as the everything on site we have to offer. We have ice shelter rentals fully loaded with the sonar, with the auger, with the heater, with everything you need to be comfortable. And we can even set them up so you can do some ice camping if the two actual buildings we have isn't what you think you and your group would want. We can set you up with 2 ice fishing shelters to create a nice ice camping setup for you so you can get out there doing that. We have something for everyone when you stay at the bed and breakfast. So we're hoping that this video will give you an idea of what to expect in winter up in Kapuskasing with Moose Basin Vacations, and we're hoping it piques your interest in wanting to come up here. And we are looking forward to providing more footage and pictures of more adventures this year, because we realize it's just a slideshow here and some added pictures going into the post. It doesn't really do justice to the amount of beauty and just peace you can get from riding the trails and enjoying the winter time up here. So if what you're seeing is interesting you here, please check out our website at www.moosebasinvacations.com, or since you're seeing this on our Facebook page, hit that follow button. Follow us so you can stay up to date with any new developments happening. We'll be keeping you all notified as to when the trails are opening up here, and so you can be the first to know when the riding conditions are good enough for you to get up here and enjoy the trails and hopefully get an early start on your sledding season this year. But either way, if you follow us on our website, if you take a look at our website and what we have to offer, and follow us on Facebook to stay up to date with the best times for you to come up here and take advantage of what we offer. We know that if you do that and put that into action, that you are going to have an absolutely incredible winter vacation up in northeastern Ontario in the Moose Basin territory, town of Kapuskasing, most beautiful town in northern Ontario. You're going to have a memorable experience. And Until then, we will let you take all that into consideration, and hopefully you're planning your stay up to run the Northern Corridor Adventure Trail or do some ice fishing and backcountry riding up here. We have a little bit of something for everyone, and we've got all the equipment and services available to help you take full advantage of everything we have right in our backyard here in Moose Basin Vacations. So we hope to see you soon. Stay warm out there and tight lines if you're getting out on the hard water. Have a good one.